practice for the Freddie March Memorial Trophy for cars that would have raced in the famous 9-hour races at Goodwood that started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, went on till midnight. We've been talking to Stefan Ziegler about the D-type, and we've got short nose D-type and long nose. This is the short nose, and when Eki and Kos raced D-types at Le Mans, they distinguished them by Lance Corporal, Corporal and Sergeant stripes on the nose, and this one is the Sergeant.
Bad moment there for Stefan Ziegler. He has badly crumpled the short-nosed D-type, which is now a very short-nosed D-type, and that will bring an end to the session with just a few seconds left on the clock. While Stefan Ziegler...
That's so sad.
Well, there'll be yellow flags out covering Stefan Ziegler's car, so hand out to the cockpit there. And heading into the pit lane, Gregor Fiskin will be the poleman for the Freddie March Memorial Trophy, the final race of this Goodwood Revival weekend for 2021.
So we are on the lookout for incredibly smart and well-dressed people today, and I reckon the two ladies standing to the left of me, you're up there.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to actually go something different, isn't it, for the day? So everyone makes such an effort here, so yeah, really enjoyable.
I am obsessed with your sunglasses.
Oh, thank you very much.
Vintage?
They're not, actually.
Shh, for the sake of this, they are.
Yes.
Cars on the grid for the Festival of Britain Trophy race, and a very quick start. Away they go. Mark Gillies on pole position. There's a staller further back, but it's too wide. ERA is into the first corner. David Morris will take the lead into Madwig.
And it isn't as if David is slowing in the ERA, it's that Michael is getting progressively quicker. He's got fastest lap with a 1:32.6.
Oh, big moment for David Morris, out of third place, a looping spin. Heading out of St Mary's is that next group of 5 cars. They can see the end of them.
Oh, Michael.
Big moment for Michael Gans, because he's not
on
trying.
The limit. No.
And the cameras catch it. Oh, goodness me, no, that wasn't him at all.
No, that was Duncan Ricketts.
Yeah. Fantastic battle for the lead. Mark Gillies looks over his shoulder. I think he knows the inevitable is coming. Michael Gans has caught him so quickly on that back straight out of St Mary's. He is right with him. And the Alfetta is right in the middle of St Mary's, and Gillies is going to catch him. He's going to be badly held up, and if the Alfetta couldn't be in a worse place for Mark Gillies. Gillies slow through the middle of the turn, but he squeezes through now. So Michael Gans has a third of a lap left to try and take victory here. He's got a great run on the inside. Gillies sees him coming. Michael Gans leaps through in the gap at Lavant, and the Alfetta, so unfortunate for Mark Gillies, may have just changed the course of the race. It might have been going to Michael Gans, but it's going to be close.
Watch out at Woodcut.
Gillies comes firing back down the Lavant straight. Fantastic response for Mark Gillies. Great historic racing from these two. Perfectly matched driver and car combinations. It's going to be an ERA 1-2, and Mark Gillies out of the chicane. He led almost every metre from lap 2 onwards, and he will take the checkered flag by inches from Michael Gans. What a fantastic barnstorming race, and they will both be absolutely cock-a-hoop with that.
And I think Michael did the gentlemanly thing. He saw that Mark had been held up by the Alfetta and said he deserves first place.
Yeah. And he'd done him. He'd done him out the corner, and then, yes, allowed Mark Gillies to come back.
What a race.
OK, can we have a lie down in a darkened room now for about 20 minutes? That was fantastic, edge of the seat stuff.
What an amazing sight. This is my favourite race of the Goodwood Revival. There's no doubt about it. The Settrington Cup. It's George Moore and the Nick Moore car. Can George Moore do it at the line? The number 62 car. Come on, George. The gold car coming out for second place. In third place, it's the number 13 car. Absolutely brilliant stuff. George Moore takes it over the line for victory.
It was my first time winning. I'd say thanks to my dad for taking me out cycling every day. 40 miles is my highest. Windsor and back.
Oh my goodness, no wonder you won.
He's going to have to run for it. There he goes, Brogy, but let's see. The MV number 78, is it? No, it's not first away. That's a brilliant start by the number 15. That was Troy Corser shooting away. Troy Corser, the Aussie who did such a fantastic job here on that vintage BMW. Let's see how they shuttle down. Michael Rutter there, 68. on the bike he shares with Mike Russell, but already that MV with Michael Dunlop on is out in front. So now they're all in pursuit of Michael Dunlop, who is 2.7 seconds up the road at the head of this race. This is the battle for second place. Look at them, 3, 4 abreast. It's an 8-wheeler. Who do you want it? I don't know. Anybody's guess. Brooksy. Oh, who's on the grass? Goodness me, that's James Hillier, number 17 on the grass. Astonishing action. You would not think these bikes are 60 years old, would you? 70, I beg your pardon. Incredible. A TT Star of today. Michael Dunlop being chased by a TT Star of tomorrow, Davey Todd. And in third place, it's Rutter now. Rutter underneath Brogan. Michael Rutter, the popular Midlander, himself a TT winner. 7 Isle of Man TT wins. These boys show no fear at the front of the pack. Michael Rutter coming up to play, and I tell you what, that's a strong combination. 12 minutes remaining, the pit window is open, and there's only a limited time in which he can do it. Hillier underneath Brogan. Brogan round the outside, not having any of it. Still, oh goodness me, the back almost let go then. They were talking about slippery conditions yesterday, full on both wheels sliding, but it's not happening today. Everybody's gripping the tarmac well. Lee Johnson, 22, comes up to play as well, wants a bit of the action. He'll hand over to Tony Perkin, who's no slouch either. Down towards Woodcote Corner, the right-hander, up the inside it goes. On the brakes, lets the brakes off, roll in. Has he gone wide? Can he keep it tight? There's Plater on the MV, heading for victory. The gap last time, 7 seconds, a massive advantage, and victory for the red Italian fire engine, the 3-cylinder MV, over the line for victory. Tomorrow, it's a 2-part race. They do it all again for the overall.
It is likely to be the most mayhem you've ever seen. On pole, Nick Swift in the centre of the front row. Is Gamanesh got a great tyre smoking start, gets away from the pole sitter, and Jeff Smith on the outside, the black Mini, all 30 cars away cleanly with 3 wide, 4 wide already. We will be 5 wide around the back, that is guaranteed. Swift hits the front by name and by nature. Second place is Jeff Smith in the black car that will be shared by Matt Neal. Third place, car number 20, a great start by Endaf Evans from the second row of the grid, I think. He'll share later with Jean-Eric Vergne.
Are still kicking up the dust in that leading group as they go wide on the exit of St Mary's. Very wide indeed. There's a bill for crossing the harvest. That's 21, started the middle of the front row.
That's the Escombe car, and that has come to a halt. It's a long way. Edgecombe car. That's a left front hub failure. I've had that. Oh, and Solis goes off onto the grass and loses the place back, and there's a spinner in the middle. Endaf Owens, keep your foot in, keep your foot in, keep your foot in. That is the only rule of mini racing. Keep the throttle applied and let the car pull itself out of trouble, and he just survives that one. It will be a victory in the John Whitmore Trophy for Nick Swift and Andy Jordan.
Am I right in thinking that you're going to retire a happy man now?
I am done. I have put my family through hell to get to this point.
73 years ago, on the 17th of September 1948, an aspiring young British racing driver celebrated his 19th birthday. The following day, on the 18th of September, 73 years ago to the day today, the Goodwood Motor Circuit opened its doors for the very first time, and Stirling Crawford Moss entered his first serious motor race right here. Stirling didn't just win his very first race, he absolutely overwhelmed and crushed the opposition. To us, he was and always will be simply Mr. Goodwood. Now we gather for a rather different occasion to celebrate a life lived to the absolute maximum, epitomizing his motto, motion is tranquility. As the great man would always say, ciao, Stirling, we miss you more than we can possibly say.
So we need to be quick because we've actually interrupted a class that Elisa Lex is teaching. Just tell us what's going on here today.
So today we are taking charity shop shirts and we're transforming them into all manner of other different garments. So kind of off-the-shoulder tops or skirts or tote bags, endless options. The most sustainable garment is the one that's already in your wardrobe.
I think that's a really fantastic way to end. Also, I don't want to keep you any longer from these women that are learning to sew. In fact, I should hang around. My husband will be happier.
Yeah, take the class.
The Union flag is up and drops and away we go. Great start from Andy Middlehurst. Exceptional starting. Look for the pale green BRP car coming through on the left of your screen. But Middlehurst with the broad yellow stripe, Bruce Jones looks to be leading down into the first corner of the first lap.
Clean and tidy into and out of Madrick. Those two Lotus 25s, the front row as it was, but a car making a move already. Miles Griffiths, we talked about him. It's a blue Cooper with the red flash up the front, but the front three getting it very much under control. In fact, we've got the front three already making a break. Andy Middlehurst, Nick Fennell and Joe Colosacco as they were, but in behind it's very, very tight. Hadindra De Silva in the, sorry, Timothy De Silva in the mix there, but being muscled out in the cream colour.
What about Mark Shaw? He got up into fourth place in car number 8. Is he going to have a shout?
Right, one person really making a move. We talked to Richard Atwood. We've got a car off very, very early on. That's down at Madrick. Is that Beaumont?
And oh, that is Andrea Baratti. So he has given himself a little bit of a Code Brown moment with the grassy excursion.
Gosh, I can almost sense that Lawrence Soriano, who owns this car, and his gang who come to watch the racing are starting to take the wrappers off their cigars, ready for the celebrations at the end of the race. I think that's a little premature. They're going to have to work the traffic. But Joe Middlehurst leading in the Lotus 25, number 25, and being chased so hard and caught little by little by the chasing Ferrari driver Joe Colosacco. They are well clear. 7 seconds back to Tim De Silva. But don't forget, Tim De Silva in the Lotus BRM had to fight his way through traffic bit by bit. He was patient. Great move on Andrew Beaumont, running in 30s, past Mark Shaw as well. And then a spin all on his own.
Oh, and Joe Colosacco out of the chicane is in the barriers, and that is the battle for the lead over.
So was he going around traffic? Andy Middlehurst comes through, no problem at all. No, the tail was wagging the dog, and the front just didn't want to turn into the second part of the chicane. And there's the tyre wall. How frustrating there. So the lead battle is over and out, and that does mean that the beautifully driven Tim De Silva Lotus BRM 24 is up into second place. Mark Shaw will be the next one through. That was a shock because it was all on his own.
Andy Middlehurst with the checkered flag awaiting. Time has run out. Actually, I'm not sure it has. Our clock's saying 2 minutes and 22 seconds. The checkered flag is out though, so he takes victory. That's the Bill Shepherd prepared and Bill Shepherd Romain Dumas driven car. That car was second fastest yesterday. Car number 1 was fastest of all, 125.606. There was only 0.2 of a second between the top two cars.
Wonderful slow-mo. We had a wheel on the grass coming out of the chicane.
Watched on by James Cottingham on the left of shot, so a little bit of anxiety, but he knows the car's got the pace, so that sort of puts more pressure on him. So any little mistake in a pit stop, you can have your own mistake out on the track. You can go off on your own juices. That's the 77.
The front row, it's a
I think that's Jensen in the car
Jensen
now.
Has just
now Jensen now?
in the car.
Just taken over, and in fact he's got a different helmet to yesterday by looks of things, but he's not enjoying that, is he?
No, he's not. He did have a big smile on his face when I saw him in the paddock yesterday, just after the driver change in the race last night.
Yeah. Sam Hancock is at the wheel of 68, really pedaling hard in this 1963 AC Cobra, red with the red hardtop and the white Shelby stripes almost, that sort of big central stripe and the two outrigger stripes.
It's the Wilmot livery, the white stripes up over the roof and hanging the tail out very well indeed. You know, I never ever tire from seeing a rear-wheel drive car with bags of grunt from up front and the tail swinging around. And then the engine note, fabulous. Look, we're nearly at the end. In fact, the checkered flag is being proffered and it's AC Cobra's first and second. Romain Dumas, Bill Shepherd, the green one, stays top of the pile by 37 thousandths of a second. There will be some late improvements. Brundle, Verdon, Road.
Yes, that's got a first quick. He's been bolt there, hasn't he?
Well, no, but he just found the gap there, didn't he, Jensen Button? You know, you can take the driver out the Formula 1 World Championship winning car, but you can't take the world champion out of the driver. He just knew where the gap was going to be.
We are stepping back in time with two of the most gorgeous women that I've clocked today. Ladies, you look fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tell me why you love the festival so much.
purely just to be able to do this. How often you get to look amazing and feel amazing.
Exactly, skirts and petticoats. We've been swishing since we've got here with our petticoats. That's the only
All I want to do with you is sit here and swish with you.
Thundering Thunderbird, the Union flag drops and away they go. Immediate good traction from the light. Austin A40 and the Alpha gets away from the line. The flame spitting Alfa Romeo, the red car of Emanuele Pirro looking to go a long way around the outside, and the outside of the Thunderbird is a very long way away. 10 seconds after everybody else, our final two cars, Alex Brundle and Patrick Watson, will be flagged away, but the thundering Thunderbird takes the lead. Emanuele Pirro moving into third. There's Andrew Jordan on his right. You can't see him, but there he is, 77. And there is the number 9 Mark 1 Jag of Matt Neal, trying to go the long way around the outside of his former British Touring Car Championship rival.
Gained a few more places, and now Lotterer is so much more nimble, or less unnimble, if there is such a word, behind the Ford T-Bird. That has the grunt to stay in front, but for how long? And look for the number 77 Austin A40. It's in fourth. It was on pole position, trying to fight back, but Matt Neal, the number 9 Jaguar Mark 1, and the number 14 Jaguar Mark 1 with Anthony Reid, they're going to hunt as a pack. Brilliant on-board footage.
And right behind them, at the end of that leading group, in 7th place, is Marcel Fessler. Now, he said, I've got Jags all around me. I want to make a good start. I want to hold my position. Well, he started in 7th place on the grid, so he's done that. Crowd of Austin A40s. Then drama. A tag from Benoit Trellier spun Matt Neal. Stuart Graham couldn't avoid him. Also bumped Matt Jackson going through. And he's not too bad a judge. I had a big lock up there from Pirro. Just about gets away with that without being contacted from behind, but again Fassler will have been computing there if he needed to get on the brakes or if there was going to be a gap opening up. And what a fantastic battle this is. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th all together. One of these guys is going to be on the podium.
Trying to find a way past Anthony Reid and the even larger Jaguar, number 15, Rowan Atkinson, trying to go through abreast. It's like the start all over again. Over the start-finish line they go. The little Austin A40 tucked in behind. Fessler and Jackson. Jackson could well be at the head of this group by the end of this lap. He's looking, watching, waiting for a gap.
Rowan Atkinson staying out of the way there, and I think tuning into the home service just on the dial, and through come the A40s. They carry so much more momentum because they're just a little bit lighter and nimbler. They both go steaming by Emanuele Pirro. Now, Pirro with the Alpha Twin Cam has got more power to play with, but he carries more weight as a result. Has Reid broken free? Don't you believe a moment of it. The moment that the Jag starts to get into the twists and turns of St Mary's, again the A40's picking up the front wheel, dangling the front there. Marcel Fessler all over the back of Anthony Reid, a nice stiff front anti-roll bar to just get that power down. He rolls his way through, and Reid now, as he picks up the throttle out 11th, will try and come back down the straight. Andy Jordan is now half a second quicker on the last lap. The gap is just about 3 seconds and closing. It's an A40, don't forget, in second place. Weighs probably around 500 kilos wet. The car that leads weighs around 2 tons wet. Don't think that's not having an effect on the tyres and the brakes. And now he is taking the whip to it. We're getting into the final furlong, and Romain Dumas, monster moment from Andy Jordan. Just asked too much of the car to get around the big Jag. Couldn't make it through.
Very tight indeed.
It's very
Fessler
tight.
and Pirro, the challenge is
Drag race to the line.
In
Fassler or Pirro, this is going to be very close. It is Marcel Fassler by the enormous margin of 71 thousandths of a second. That is possibly the depth of the front bumper of the A40. Second board is shown. Phil Keane on pole from Ollie Bryant, and Max Griffiths away, Miles Griffiths away we go. Slow start from the GT40, very slow start indeed from the silver and yellow GT40. He is swamped by the pack. He'll barely be in 10th place ahead of Sean Lynn's car as they turn into Madrick for the first time and head out towards Ford Water. Pale blue car of Sean Lynn, so the GT40s are now hunting Mark Shaw as a pack. He'll have one in either mirror if he's not careful, out of Lavant and down the Lavant straight, but looking on the inside at St Mary's, Miles Griffiths is really risking it here to go inside, outside, around the outside. Bruce is drawing air through his teeth, as I'm sure the car owners are on. Sean Lynn trying to cut back underneath Mark Shaw in the number 44 car as well. Mark Shaw holding on at the moment.
Deep into the gravel, 4th became 5th, 5th became something of the past.
Goodness me, Phil Keane is showing his nose everywhere. He's really trying to give Tony Sinclair the hurry up or get out of the way. The Lola T70's coming the long way around the outside. Whoa, just absolutely tears past.
They cannot overtake into St Mary's, they cannot overtake into the Lavern corner. But you can pretend if your name's Phil Keane, you can overtake on the exit. He's trying to do it. He's got the job done.
And again, look at the grunt. Phil Keane positions himself perfectly. Ollie Bryant has no answer there. Phil Keane takes the lead inside the final 2 minutes of the 25-minute Whitsun Trophy. As we said, he's probably stopped cursing himself now, and there might be more of a sigh of relief than a smile of satisfaction at the end of it, because when you have taken pole in a tight fight, when you have started and held your lead, and when you then lose it, it's a bitter pill. But the checkered flag is out. It is victory for Phil Keane. He wins from pole position. That tells you nothing of the story. Ollie Bryant in second place.
Well, if anybody knows about fashion and vintage fashion, it is this lady, Bay Garnett. Hello, how are you?
Hi, that's very kind.
Well, I mean, I think that's a fair analysis of kind of your history of vintage fashion. Just tell us a little bit about what you do and why you love vintage fashion so much.
I am a stylist, and I've always loved charity shops, and I've worked for Vogue and lots of magazines, and over the years I've always put second-hand clothes in shoots because I love the idea of charity shops becoming part of kind of mainstream kind of glamour and dressing, and so I've just always loved second-hand shops and clothes, and and now more than ever I think it's really important that we all do much more of that.
Enjoy the action with you. The flag drops and away we go. Who gets the best start? Roger Wills, as so often is the case, from the centre of the front row. The White Lotus 15. Is he going to take the lead into the first corner? He does. He leads into Madrick and Bruce. After that, it's anyone's race.
It certainly is, and the other Lotus 15 from the front row had the opposite effect. It's gone back to about 5th or 6th place. Martin Brundle, 27, D-type, wagging his tail. It's gone ahead of the list to Flatiron. Nolly Bryant from the outside of the front row. A little bit of liquid being dropped by the number 1.
Still coal break. Sam Hancock on the grass. Through goes the Lister Nobly. Change of place for third. Phil Kaduri up to third place. Sam Hancock just carrying a little...
Yeah, he's there pretty much where he started, but that car is so spectacular, such a short wheelbase, but bouncing over the bumps on the approach to St Mary's, looking for the outside line. That is a case of diminishing returns. Surely Phil Kaduri won't leave enough space for the Ferrari to get through, but the battle at the front, in fact, he has left enough space because in the background, you can see the Ferrari's up to third, and Phil Kaduri had to balance the car, get it back on the track, with Padmore closing right in 5th place.
And which way do you look? Because James Cotting was having a massive sort out right behind, almost alongside Roger Wills. Getting the Lotus qualified well is key. Getting it off the line well is absolutely critical. He did both of those, took the lead at the start, and and off is the number 3 D-type Joe Macari. That's Marino Franchitti. And still accelerating. Wills is on the grass, trying to go the long way round.
He's trying to go around Carlos Miguens, and suddenly the outside, there was no outside. So Martin Brundle, car 27. Thank goodness we got an onboard camera on board. Let's see what he's doing. Twitching, he's already lost the 2 positions the previous lap by being forced a little bit wide, and this time, unfortunately, forced wide on the other side of the track, just on the approach to Lavern. That was a monster miss.
There's the leader in James Cottingham. There's second place Roger Wills. There's Sam Hancock. He's all over him. They've caught traffic. There is a lot of traffic in front. Here's the opportunity for Hancock. Can he find the gap? Does Wills get held up? And again, with a 2 and off in the background goes one of the back markers, and Nick Patton and Phil Kaduri. Phil Kaduri avoids the barriers. He should be able to rejoin. Was that not him in fourth?
No, I don't think it's Phil Kaduri. I think it's a Lister further back down the field. So into second place. It's around the outside, but hanging on the inside, Roger Wills, the little White Lotus. Can he keep it in front? There's more grunt from the Ferrari. This is side by side. You expect the Ferrari surely to get ahead on the run down to Woodcote, but of course Roger Wills and the little Lotus could break later and later into the corner. But how late is late, and how late is too late?
Yeah, that's the big question, not how late is late. The Kiwi in the White Lotus goes deep on the inside. Sam Hancock has to keep his powder dry. Wills doesn't get through either. Hancock's now got a chance. He might not have had the greatest exit, but he's got a little bit more in terms of top-end speed.
Roger Wills just shaking his head from side to side.
There'll be about 3 minutes as he gets to the line this time in which to win this race from James Cottingham. 3 minutes. He's got to make up 3 seconds. That's 2 laps. He's got to be a second and a half a lap quicker, or Cottingham's got to get caught in traffic. Safely negotiated by James Cottingham. It will be victory in the Sussex Trophy for the pole sitter James Cottingham in the Tijero Jag. Sam Hancock second for Ferrari, and Roger Wills, the early race leader who got tripped up in traffic, does not defend his 2019 victory. A Sussex Trophy win to end the day for Cottingham, and a fine performance from everybody in the field.